Hello, Andrew Eifert here, giving you my last video in my music career advice. Not that anyone's actually watching any of the other videos I've made on this, but I guess I'm just doing this because I'm bored out of my mind, sitting at home during this pandemic virus situation, and I feel I need to do something productive. Anyway, so indulge me, please. I'm going to call this particular episode the sad realities of being a professional musician. First, let's just really give the definition of being a professional musician in my mind. And that is the goal that you're trying to strive is just having a situation where music supports you 100% and you don't have to do anything else. That's what that's everyone's goal that you should want to seek to be a real musician. And I'm sorry you know, if you're one of these guys who has a great side job and just plays music occasionally, that's great. But, that's not being a professional musician. That's just having a side job. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Let's just look at the realities of being a musician. And if you're looking at your ultimate goals of course, to try to get a record deal and become a professional musician with, your stuff being played on the radio. You've made your mark in this world. That is the ultimate goal. But the odds of that are about 1 in 5,000. So you need to wrap that around your head. And it doesn't matter how talented you are. It really just comes down to blind luck. It really is a lottery when it comes to getting successful. Because I've seen many really talented musicians over the years that nothing has happened for them. So let's look at the realities. It's probably why that didn't happen for them. Well, number one, I think this is probably one of the most important things that a lot of musicians probably just don't want to be realistic about. And that is, if you're using drugs well above moderation and your drug use has gotten to the point where you're spending more money on drugs than living expenses and your equipment, you're never going to be successful in this business. End of story. I've seen it with many people over the years. It's a sad reality. The second one, and these aren't in any necessary order, but, the second one is having family members or significant others that aren't fully supportive of your career. And, that's, let's face it, that's probably the hardest one because it's, they either can be an individual that really enjoys the music that you're doing and becomes a muse, which is inspiring to create more music or play better. Or that can be that individual that is actually jealous of you doing what you're doing because it takes a lot of time away from them. At any rate, everyone has seen a situation where women and significant others have completely destroyed bands. Can I say Yoko Ono? Anyway, and let's get down to the next sad reality. If you're in a band, money is going to really affect everybody sooner or later. Especially if you're playing gigs where you're consistently 300 more people over, because you're on that level. You actually have the opportunity to try to make some reasonable money in this thing. It goes without saying that everyone who plays that gig should get an equal share. But I can't tell you how many other situations where that hasn't been the case. But money can mess things up. Let's look at this example. If you're the principal writer of all the music in your band, ultimately speaking, when that music is being sold someplace, you're the one going to get the money for that. And the rest of the band members might be upset about that situation. And believe me, it is a major mistake to just say to your bandmates, we're splitting all the money evenly. Because if you have that in writing and it's a contract, if the band ever breaks up, music rights are basically your retirement, assuming that, the records or whatever sell a lot. But giving up your music rights or sharing them with someone who did not write the music is a major mistake that is not going to help you in your later years. So that's an issue that's going to have to be worked out. And I think it's a sad reality and a pitfall in this music business. And money has broken up more bands than probably anything. At every level, for that matter. So, we need to... Those are some things right there. And of course, another sad reality, and it's something that's certainly very relative in my case, is that, I know what it takes and the path you have to go on to even be reasonably successful. But trying to convince everyone in your band of the same career path is nearly freaking impossible. I can't tell you how many bands I've been in where they just all thought I'm full of crap. And, I put out the money and spent the money and went to music career seminars and learned all this stuff. I can show them all the material. None of them want to take the time to read it. A lot of people that I play with are just these artistic guys who, great musicians, but just don't have any, just don't have any business sense. And so, they let all that go by the wayside and they just think that everything's going to happen for them automatically. Well, that's just not the case. You're not going to be successful in this business unless you have a plan. And, this is where I think having a manager really helps in this situation. Because number one, the manager is that person aside from the band. He's not in the band. He's the leader of the business of the band. And if that guy can come in and say, look, I'm not going to work with you guys unless you do this, because I'm not going to make any money unless you do this. And I think people are more willing, to follow a business plan with an actual manager. And everyone in the band can just concentrate on their art, and the manager can do the work and earn his 10 to 15%. And this is where I have to say it's important to have a leader that everyone follows when it comes to the business of the music business. And this is where a lot of bands fail. It is the sad reality that a lot of talented bands out there break up because they don't have a plan. They don't have a leader guiding them down that path to reach the goal they all really want to have in the first place. So, this is my 2 cents on the music career. And this is the sad realities that everyone has to overcome and deal with. I hope you like my video and realize that I'm just talking about this stuff straight through. I'm not editing anything because I don't have any editing software. Please like my video. Please subscribe. Because number one, it'll either entice me to actually spend the money on coming up with technology that's going to help my video page look better, but it'll encourage me. So anyway, please hit the comments below. Any questions you have, more than happy to answer them, I should say. Andrew Eifert signing off.